I also saw that you missed your meal bag. Your husband was nice enough to bring that to you, or he's flying it. I don't know if he's there yet, but what I know wrestlers talk about this a lot. Meal prep is very important, but what goes into packing for like a media blitz like this? Anything particular? Anything like maybe walk somebody through it that doesn't really understand like the dedication it takes for something like that?
Um, so basically, I prep all my meals throughout the week, and I'm actually gone an extra day because I have a convention to do on Saturday. So my meal bag only fits 6 meals. So I try to take as many as I possibly can. So I have meals with me right now. And actually, John, he flew in last night. He got in at about midnight. So I went to go pick him up from the airport, and then we had to get up at 6 to go to the gym. But yeah, I just have all my supplements. I have pretty much everything with me. It's another like separate either checked bag or I have to check my gear bag to be able to take it on the flight. But yeah, it's a whole process. I have my food scale with me, like all the BCAAs I need, all the gym supplements, all the normal everyday supplements. It's a process for sure.
How much does that how much of a difference is it between like now you're busy, you're doing a convention, you're working out, but how much different is it than like show day? Like would it look any different next week what you pack?
Not what I pack, but on show days, for some reason, like I think we're just all over the place, and I'm a little more nervous. I probably eat less, so when I actually end up coming home, I usually have some of my meals and snacks left over. But it's essentially the same exact thing every single time. It's very very boring.
Okay, fair enough. I figured maybe I could get some tips somewhere.
Yeah, people keep sending me this meme that says like it's like bodybuilders, and then it's a guy posing with like a bunch of food, and it says the most bland food prepared in the laziest way possible, and it's very very spot on. It's just literally all my meals right now are chicken, sweet potato, and broccoli.
I
So
would enjoy I would enjoy that though. Those are like three of my staples.
okay, you might enjoy it for what, a week, but if you have to eat it for like weeks, you'd probably get tired of it.
The closest thing I could think of is like if you crock pot meals at home and you have to have it every day, like I
Yeah.
can deal with those for I'd say maybe a week or two. So I don't know. But I'm some
I will tell you, on these media days, they normally pay for our food, like we get Uber Eats twice a day, but I don't get to take advantage of that because I have my meals with me. So that is one aspect of it that really does suck.
okay. Well, I'm glad you got your stuff. I'm glad John got to join you for the weekend.
No,
Maybe
he's flying home today.
what? He's not sticking around?
Yeah.
That's
No, we
crazy.
have 5 dogs. We have 5 dogs, man. He has to go home.
Uh, okay. All right. I appreciate the dedication.
He's actually laying in bed right now. He's about to leave in about an hour.
Well, get up and go. Hey, at least he's trying to enjoy some of it. He's not rushing right back, but that's I guess when you guys do this as much as you do, you're used to just being on planes. I don't know.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. But we're here talking about Bound for Glory. It's a week away. You've been counting the days down literally on Twitter. Uh, Masha Slamovich. I mean, I don't want to. I'm sure you've been asked this question already a few times, and you're going to be asked the rest of the day. So I don't want to say how are you preparing for the match, but uh, like she's a threat to your title reign. She's been taking down everybody that she's faced. I mean, pick your poisons made it interesting. Thoughts on thoughts on her just Impact run so far.
I think she's an incredible wrestler. I think that she's definitely, they've been putting it over on Twitter as two of the most intense, unrelenting knockouts facing off, like of all time facing off. And I do feel that way. I feel like we both yell a lot in our matches. We're both very intense. And I'm mostly just excited to test myself against her. Not many people know this because it happened a long time ago, but when I first got to Impact, she and I actually had a match for BTI, for Before the Impact. And it was kind of before she found herself, before she, you know, I don't know what happened. I guess maybe she started doing death matches or hardcore matches, and I think that puts you on a different plane of existence, in all honesty.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I wrestled her before, and I know who she was before. But most importantly, I think I'm prepared for this match. Like, I've been training, I've been studying matches, I've been studying her, so I think I'm more than ready.
The match that you just mentioned, it was, if I have this correct, it was at New York City Melrose Ballroom taping in 2019. Yeah, it would have aired in June 2019. So if anybody can find it, it's out there. I don't know if...
Yeah, it's on YouTube, I believe.
Okay. All right. That actually leads me to my next question. Usually I do a watch list feature. I ask for match recommendations. We've done this a few times, so I won't ask you for your favorite match or from your career, because we did it kind of recently. But I'm gonna stick with the pick your poison. Do you have a favorite Masha match that you've seen? Maybe in recent months, since you already were familiar with her back then. Do you have any Masha matches that really like kind of made you pay attention?
So obviously a lot of the matches that she's had in Impact have been like 30 seconds long. But the match that actually got her signed with Deonna, probably a little bit over a year ago now, was really, really good. I think it was a backstage monitor sellout. That was one I remember very well. And then her most recent one with Deonna was more intense. I think that the longer she's been at Impact, the more intense she's gotten, and the more she's kind of like found her footing. But those two matches, I think both of them with Deonna actually were both really, really great matches.
Yeah, and if I have the timing right, it was like a 10-minute or a 12-minute match, which, as you mentioned, that's like longer than most of the matches she's had combined, because she's just been running through people.
Yeah, exactly.
Two other ones that I actually, one that I was impressed with, one I'm waiting to see, but she challenged Josh Alexander for the Impact World title at AAW not too long ago, and as we're recording Monsters Ball, she has a match with Allie Katch. I'm glad that match is happening, because the knockouts have, you got Ultimate X, you got Queen of the Mountain. I feel like this is another Impact staple. I mean, you were involved in setting this match up, but is this one that you want to be in?
I'm not going to lie to you. I dislike weapons immensely. I would rather just have a straight up wrestling match. I have like a very low pain tolerance when it comes to anything like getting stabbed into me, or me just like going through tables or anything like that. So personally, no, I've been involved in one before. It was a multi-woman Monsters Ball match. And I think thankfully I didn't have to do too much stuff, because a lot of the other girls in the match were already kind of into that. I think Rosemary was in the match. Alicia Edwards was in the match. Kimberly was in the match, and those three girls love that style of wrestling, that hardcore style. And so I kind of got to phone it in a little bit, but I'm just not a big fan of weapons, to be honest.
Savannah Evans was also in it. It was
Yes.
Knockouts Knockdown. So not too long ago. It was about maybe a year and a few days, but I mean, are there any matches from, like, I mentioned Ultimate X, Queen of the Mountain. You're good with Monsters Ball. You did your one and done, I guess. Any other Impact like marquee matches you really want to compete in? I know Like we haven't seen lethal lockdown in a while.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would also love. I don't even know when the last time I had this match was, but Elevation X. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to compete in an Elevation X match. I think that would be really, really cool.
I don't remember, like, gosh, it's got to be at least 10 years. I can't remember when, but that's certainly one we haven't seen in a long time. So maybe, hey, pitch it. I mean, that's how we got Ultimate X, the Knockouts match.
I mean, it's been so long. It's probably a logistical thing at this point. Just getting the everything set up. It's probably one of the more difficult matches to set up. But I definitely would love to compete in one.
All right, we'll wait and see. It's if anybody that's listening or reading doesn't know, it's kind of like a scaffold match. I think it would be fun if they could figure out a way to do it. Why not bring it back? I'll have to check on I don't remember when the last one. It's got to be at least 10, maybe even longer. But one of the other people in the match tonight, the Monsters Ball match, Allie Katch. She's a new name to Impact fans, but we also saw Max the Impaler. Two names that are very unique, exciting. They're new to the audience. Obviously you have your main roster, like you're the champion. You have Deanna and Masha. Do you like how are you feeling like just hearing the reception for like the Max and Allie and these names coming in, whether they stick around long term or not? Like it's still exciting to see these names that people want to see. And I'll use another example. He's in the men's side of things, but Shane Taylor got a lot of, hype too from appearing a couple weeks ago. Like how's that been, just seeing the excitement for, the roster getting to face these new names?
I think it's awesome. I love it. And I especially think especially with Allie, because GCW is just so hot right now. Like fans want to see wrestlers get their due, I think. And I think Allie being in her first ever television match in the main event is a really, really big deal. And it's kind of funny to me because she's a good friend of mine. We were texting kind of before the show, and she was telling me, she was nervous because every single time that we've ever done backstage work, because we did backstage work for WWE, and we were extras, and she was like, well, it's different because I'm not an extra now. It's the main event of the show, and it's very different. So I was very happy for her to finally be getting something like that on such a grand stage.
One other thing I did want to ask about, I'll let you go on this. Two separate comments you made, but it kind of got my mind going. One, you said you'll always be involved in wrestling. You see yourself, no matter what you do, whether it's your in-ring career's done, and you just feel like you're always going to have that connection. But another time you joked that your OnlyFans paid for the first Terminus event. So there was a few Booker of the Year comments and, had some fun with it. But have you had any serious thought about booking a show, whether it's, hey, I want to book a Knockouts Knockdown event in Impact, your own show? Are you thinking that far ahead?
I'm not thinking that far ahead, to be honest with you. I'm kind of taking it day by day. I would like to, be able to wrestle in ring as long as possible. But maybe in the next few years, I'll start thinking about that. I did help with the Terminus shows, in terms of the backstage stuff, and it's very chaotic and hectic and stressful. So I know if I did do something like that, I absolutely would not want to be wrestling on the card.
Okay. All right. Something to think about down the line, but obviously you have quite a bit going on coming up in the next week or so. Bound for Glory. quite the test against Masha Slamovich. She's a serious threat to your title reign, but best of luck, continued success, and thanks for your time today. Maybe we'll see that scaffold.
Yeah,
maybe we'll see the Elevation X match. Who knows?
Yeah, I've probably just spoken it into existence. Scott's listening right now.
I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna tag him when we're done.
All right, thank you so much for having me.